author, commentator, public intellectual, Dr. Gurcharan Das. Thank you, Dr. Das, for your time. Today in the morning, sir, I was reminded of one of your speeches I had heard recently when you talked about India of the 80s, from medicines to cement to choices that we have today. Tell us, how was pre-1991 India different from post-1991 India?
Well, let me begin by telling you something that most people don't know, that it was Manmohan Singh who really brought me back to India. I was working for a multinational company at the world headquarters, and I got very worried one day when I heard that the reforms in India were in trouble. The Congress party was not happy with the Prime Minister Narasimha Rao, and the left wing of the Congress party was saying that they wanted to reverse the reforms. So I had met Manmohan Singh when he was a very junior guy many years earlier. So I just, shot off a telegram to him. And lo and behold, I got an answer, which the telegram said, look, why is nobody defending the reforms? And his answer was, you come back and you defend the reforms. And so I went back to India. I left my corporate job, became a full-time writer, got a column in the Times of India, and for 25 years, I was a cheerleader for the reforms. And the first thing I did when I came back was to go and visit him. And that day, there were no servants apparently in the house. So he went and made tea for me personally. Now, that really moved me. But really, that's not the big story, because we shouldn't judge leaders by their personal habits and qualities. We should judge them for the consequences of their actions. And by God, it was Narasimha Rao, Manmohan Singh, Chidambaram, Amarnath Verma, and others in that team who brought us real azadi, which didn't come in 1947, but came in 1991 when we got our economic freedom. And so you know the rest. After 1991, we lifted 450 million people out of poverty. Extreme poverty is almost vanishing in India. And moreover, the middle class grew from 10% to 30%. And the economy as a whole went from 3.5%, which was the rate of growth till 1980, to 6.5% growth. And that made all the difference, as what has made us today the fastest growing economy in the world. So a lot to be thankful to him for, not only as a role model of a personal leader who makes tea for a person, but also the consequences of the action. And of course, that period from 2003 to 2012 was the golden age of growth. Now, that was not his doing alone. It was the cumulative effect of reforms all the way from 91 with all the governments. But nevertheless, I would have hoped that he would have done more reforms in the period when he became Prime Minister. But still, I must say, we had a giant, and one can only be grateful.
But Mr. Das, what do you think also the enduring legacy of Dr. Singh will be? How will people remember him for generations? Because while he's seen as an architect of economic reforms whose tenure saw the passage of several progressive, important laws, he was also the Prime Minister when the UPA was rocked by corruption scandals. Do you think that is something that will have a bearing on the way he gets viewed by future generations?
I didn't hear your question because I've suddenly lost the sound.
Yes, sir. I'll just repeat that
from your studios.
Yes. Dr. Das, I was asking you, Dr. Singh...
I wish I could...
Yes, Dr. Singh is seen as an architect of economic reforms, but he was also the Prime Minister when UPA was rocked by corruption scandals. Do you think that will have a bearing on the kind of view that future generations will have about him?
I've lost the sound, so I'm so sorry.
Okay. We'll try connecting with you again. Thank you.
I can't hear what
It's
you're
okay,
saying.
So we'll try connecting
but
with
I could
you,
hear
Dr. Das.
Naina Kidwani perfectly, but suddenly your sound, your lovely sound, I can't hear.
Okay, we will try connecting with you. Thank you, Gurcharan Das, for speaking to us, public intellectual, author, and also somebody who's been in corporate India. And he talked about how he actually came back to India on the insistence of Dr. Manmohan Singh, somebody who made a special cup of tea for him and urged him to stay back and help him with his reforms. So clearly, there are personal gestures of politicians that touch us in ways that are often beyond the realm of political analysis.